Epilepsy is a brain disorder whose abnormalities can be seen as spikes in the recorded brain signals. Identifying these spikes will help neurosurgeon to reset the brain region causing these abnormalities. In virtue of this, the epileptic patient will undergo EEG in which 64 to 128 sensors are placed on the head to record the brain signals. To know the brain region causing abnormalities, an epileptic patient will also undergo MRI. Integrating EEG and MRI will help the doctors locate the brain region causing abnormalities instead of viewing them independently. Manually identifying these abnormalities is time consuming because these recordings are taken for 30 to 40 hours with good time resolution. Thus, there is a need to identify the signals capturing the seizure and detect the seizure's extent. Studies, it is evident that these seizures are the compositions of high frequency and low frequency component. As you can see in the slide there, where you can see the signal is a composition of low frequency as well as the high frequency component. So this project aims to develop a tool to classify epileptic and non-epileptic signals recorded by different sensors using machine learning models. Subsequently, detect the extent of seizures from epileptic signals using deep learning model that use the high frequency component of epileptic signals. To pursue this work, one needs to have a proficiency in Python coding and the basics of MATLAB, and a significantly good understanding of machine learning and deep learning concepts, and ample knowledge on biomedical signals.
So we're working on this research project related to crowded scene analysis, which is a subtopic of computer vision and automated video surveillance. And the primary aim of any crowd scene analysis system is to ensure safety and security of the crowd. In most cases, the input for the such crowd scene analysis is a set of videos or images of crowded scenes. And due to the abundant availability of data and due to the challenges posed by various aspects of crowded scenes, crowded scene analysis has been a dominant research area recently. Some of the popular subdomains of crowded scene analysis I have listed here, including crowd behavior analysis, crowd anomaly detection, crowd density estimation, which we have worked on previously and presented a paper in Italy, and the current work, which is motion pattern segmentation. Sir, can I have the next slide, please? So, what is motion pattern segmentation? It is the process of dividing a scene into regions of consistent motions. Similar to handling a complex task, by dividing that complex tasks into smaller tasks and working on those smaller tasks to achieve that complex task. Similarly, dividing an input scene into regions of similar features or consistent motion will help to easily analyze a complex scene. Obviously, there will be lots of challenges involved during such a complex process. The three of the important challenges I have listed here. One is the changes in the scene dynamics, wherein suppose you are developing a model for an indoor scene, it may not be applicable for an outdoor scene due to changes in illumination condition. Unpredictable crowd behavior is another factor where you can't predict the motion of a particular person in the next instant of time, even if you have his history of history of trajectory data for long duration. And finally, combining all these small modules to make a real-time running crowd scene analysis system is a real challenge. So we kept all these challenges in mind and divided the tasks of motion pattern segmentation into two. Those two are the objectives which I have listed here. One among those is to efficiently extract motion information from the input crowded scenes, and the next is to use this extracted motion information to develop a scene independent model which can be applicable to all the scenes for segmenting and detecting similar motion patterns. So if I may have your attention to the three figures over here. Figure 1 is the input scene, figure 2 is the ground truth meaning our output segment should be as close as to this, the image 2. So the image 3 is, consider it as an intermediate representation of the our crowd scene analysis task. Consider it as an output of the objective 1. So I have color coded the motions here based on the direction of motion. As you can see in this intermediate results which we have got, there are several regions where we can refine it so that it's almost similar to the ground truth which we have here. So one way of approaching this problem is to use the motion information and model it as a graph and apply some deep learning technique such as a graph clustering network, which is recently popular deep learning technique to segment this crowded scenes. So the prerequisite required for such a work I listed.
The title of this project is Development of an Intelligent System for Human Detection in UAV Videos. Unmanned aerial vehicles or drones have become very popular in the recent years due to the wide range of applications they provide in various fields. As UAVs have the ability to move and acquire the data from inaccessible or human restricted areas, they find numerous applications in surveillance, security, border monitoring, agriculture, etc. Developing an automatic human detection algorithm in UAV videos will be useful in search and rescue operations to identify and save the people during disasters or also in border monitoring applications. As we can see in this figure, human detection algorithm finds the location of all humans present in the images. The algorithm should be accurate and computationally efficient to run on UAV platforms. Next slide, please. One of the challenges in this research is small target size. That is, humans in the aerial view appear as very small in size, covering only few pixels in the entire image. The pose, scale and illumination variations are few additional challenges. Along with this, there will be cluttered background, presence of shadow, etc. Hence, the main objective of this research is to develop an accurate and efficient deep learning based human detection algorithm for UAV platform. This mainly includes the creation of the standard dataset that involve acquisition of the data using UAV and annotating these videos. The prerequisites for this work are basic knowledge of image processing or computer vision and deep learning. Programming skills required are Python.
Video coding, a variation of that is multi-view video coding. All of you know that nowadays the video conquers the world. Streaming and social media platforms are becoming more and more popular. But the question is, what are the technical innovations that enables this boom in the era of videos? All of you know the video is a sequence of frames captured at particular frames per second, and the multi-view video is a set of video sequence capturing the same scene from different cameras kept at different locations. We call it as viewpoint. Newest technologies in video compression provide the basis for the distribution of videos worldwide, but it is estimated that almost around 80 to 90% of global privately used internet traffic consists of video data. So besides the entertainment and social media, video streaming plays a key role also in other areas of our daily routine. Like for example, some online platforms often complete lecture series as streams. Given these enormous amount of video data, there is a strong need for efficient compression methods. Typically, such a method consists of two parts. One is the encoder and other one is decoder. We usually call it as codec. Initially, the raw video data is given to the transmitter. Example of transmitter are movie and TV productions or video conferences videos, security camera videos, or the streaming platform. The transmitter transforms these initial video data into a bit stream that is sent to a receiver, for example, TV or a mobile phone, via transmission channel like internet or you can store that and use it. So classical video compression methods are based on two principles, that is reduction of redundancy and the loss of irrelevant information. So the video data is highly redundant. This means that there exists a high correlation between the frames in a sequence. The main aim of this project is to exploit the redundancy between successive frames and thereby to generate a residual frame and thereby a residual sequence. So identifying the similarity between the successive frames as well as identifying the similarity between the neighboring sequences in case of multi-view video. The main aim here is to exploit that redundancy. Okay, so the work relies on how efficiently you can exploit the redundancy between successive frames. Okay, and thereby you can generate a residual frame with the efficiency. Of course, the quality is the matter. With the acceptable quality, the aim is to generate the residual frame more efficiently. So the prerequisite for this is a basic programming skills or preliminary knowledge about the image and video. So all the standard test sequences will be used in this project, and the aim is to create one module, independent module that uses this standard sequence and generates the residual frame and residual sequence. The other one is using the standard sequence and using this in the reference softwares like HEVC high efficiency video coding, and thereby proving some of the efficient generation of the video sequences.
Identification. People re-identification is a process of identifying the same person from the same camera at different time intervals or the same person in different camera views and assigning the unique ID to each and every person who appeared in the camera network. Here, the figure A shows people who have appeared in the first camera. Those will be assigned with unique ID and imagery features are captured and stored in a database. When the same person comes in the next camera, he or she should be assigned with the same ID and also re-identified. Then in figure B, it shows the technical workflow of people re-identification using deep learning approach. First, the query and gallery images are given as an input to the CNN, that is convolution neural network. It will extract the features. Then some distance measuring algorithms such as Euclidean distance. These are used to measure the similarity score between the query and gallery images. Then the image whose similarity score comes more, that will be retrieved as a matched image and its ID will be assigned to a query image. The purpose of re-identification is first to provide the security in surveillance network. The second is to reduce the burden of security and police officers. Then to automate the re-identification task. So next slide please. While performing re-identification, we come across several challenges. The first one is intra or inter-class variation, which means the same person looks different in two different camera views due to some environmental changes such as illumination, background, or change. Then inter-class variation means two different individuals will look alike. Then the second challenge is ID switching caused by occlusion. When occlusion happens, two different individual IDs are got switched. The person A will be identified as B and vice versa. The third challenge is long-term re-identification. Here we will work on inter or intra-class variation challenge. The objective of this project is to robustly re-identifying the same person in appearance change. Here appearance change we consider illumination, background change, posture and viewpoint variations. Performing re-identification under all these scenarios is a main objective. Then the prerequisites for this project are the Python or MATLAB programming skills and basic knowledge on deep learning, Then some basic knowledge about the deep learning frameworks such as TensorFlow or a PyTorch. Thank you all.
Disguised face recognition. Facial recognition is one of the biometric technology that uses distinguishable facial features to identify a person. Today, it's used in variety of ways from allowing you to unlock your phone, go through the security at the airport, purchase products at stores, and many more. Since there is no contact required for facial recognition like there is with fingerprint or other security measures, facial recognition offers a quick and automatic verification experience. However, most of the existing research focuses on generic face recognition. Only very limited work deal with disguise face recognition, where disguise denotes the facial accessories such as glasses, hats, and wigs and makeup. These variations can confuse the identity or impersonate someone else's identity. Thus, disguise face recognition is still a challenging task that needs to be investigated. Recently, researchers utilized deep convolution neural networks for face recognition, which helps in mapping distinguishable facial features mathematically, look for patterns in the visual data, and compare new images and videos to the other data stored in facial recognition database to determine the identity. One of the major advantages of disguised facial recognition technology is safety and security. Even law enforcement agencies use the technology to uncover the criminals. The general face recognition process starts with face capturing, extracting the unique facial data, compare with the database, followed by matching the identity of the person. Some of the applications where the face recognition system is being used or could be used are airports, railway stations, bank and financial institutions, stadiums, public transports, government offices, and business establishments. Recognition of faces with with varying quality of images, post variations, occlusions or disguise, unpredictable expressions, varying illumination conditions, aging factor are some of the challenging tasks. Based on these challenges, the project helps us in identifying disguised faces in the surveillance videos and check the liveness of the detected disguised faces. Here, liveness means check whether the detected face is real or a fake face. Some of the prerequisites required for this project are some programming skills in MATLAB and Python and knowledge about image processing and deep learning.
This source camera identification. The main purpose of source camera identification is to map the image that involves some cybercrime scenes to its authentic source camera, that is identifying which particular camera has been used to capture the image under test. For example, if you have n camera devices and a test image, the task here is to identify which particular camera out of these n camera devices has been used to capture the test image. And it is mainly used in image forensics to prove the truthfulness of the evidences in the court during criminal or legal investigations. Now, you may think that the information related to the brand and model name of the device can be easily found in the image header files such as JPEG or EXIF header files. But this information cannot be used for the forensic purpose because these information can be easily manipulated. Thus, the source camera identification is done extracting the intrinsic information or the traces from the images. That is, due to some manufacturing defects in the camera sensors, a unique pattern will be left on the image during the image acquisition process. So this unique fingerprint is known as sensor pattern noise, which is considered as the camera specific fingerprint and is used to identify the source camera of the images. And over the last few years, due to advances in deep learning, several image forensic researchers, they developed convolutional neural network models to identify the source camera, where the convolutional neural network model is made to learn the sensor pattern noise, which is considered as the camera fingerprint, to map the image to its source device. Next slide, please. But in practical scenarios, the images might have shared through different social networks such as Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram. And as you all know, when an image is uploaded or downloaded from a social network, it will be subjected to compression. And due to this compression standards of social network, the sensor pattern noise, which is considered as a camera-specific fingerprint, will be lost or suppressed. So this makes the source camera identification difficult and a challenging task. So the main objective of this project is to develop a deep learning model to identify the source camera of the images that are shared through the social network. And the prerequisites for this project are basic understanding of image processing and deep learning, and programming skills in MATLAB or Python. Thank you all.
Good evening, all. Face recognition remains a very active topic in the computer vision due to the wide range of commercial, law enforcement, and security applications that require authentication. The various steps in the face recognition project are depicted in the image for your basic understanding. A biometric-based security system become more popular due to their non-invasive nature and increasing reliability. So this project, Unconstrained Face Recognition, aims to build a video-based face recognition system using deep learning from surveillance videos. Next slides, please. Listed some of the prominent challenges for a good video face recognition system. Face orientation or pose variation. So the appearance of the face may differ in many ways when the orientation of the face changes from frontal to profile or at extreme view angles, where the face components like eyes, the nose, or the ear may be blocked. So it's very difficult to detect a face at these extreme angles. Changes in facial appearance, for example, it includes beards, mustache, or glasses, or makeup, which can significantly alter the face color and texture. So as the facial expression, the appearance of the face is directly affected by the person's facial expression. Occlusions or blockages, or you can say different components from the face, may be blocked in the image by other objects or faces. Capturing conditions, so the factors that are involved in capturing the image, such as lighting conditions, camera characteristics, or the quality of the captured image, all these may have a big influence in the detection process. Finally, the face size or distance to subject. For a normal resolution camera, the faces can be very small, even for relatively short distances. This makes the face detection a real challenging task. With all these limitations and challenges, the objective is to build a robust, unconstrained face recognition system for the surveillance videos using deep learning. And the prerequisites are basic programming skills in MATLAB or Python, a basic knowledge of image processing and deep learning, and any knowledge of deep learning frameworks like PyTorch or TensorFlow, etc. would be an additional advantage. Thank you.
Good evening, all. I am here to present two projects that I'm working on. So that is, one is on networking domain, and second one is on the augmented reality and virtual reality. So first, that is networking part of this project, that is video streaming and adaptation. So let me take an example. So let us take a scenario of live streaming. So now there is a cricket match going on, and there are lots of viewers. They are viewing this particular match in multiple devices. So that's why, so there is heterogeneity in their device. So some device may be mobile, some are TV, some may be using laptops. So in these devices, the resolution and their processing capacity and their conditions are varying. So now here challenge is to provide the better quality in all these devices. Since we have a device that is capturing high resolution, high frame rate at the place where the match is happening. So now here requirement is to adapt the video content based on the device and network condition, and delivering the video content with high quality according to the device that is capable of display. So now here we are interested to use the technologies such as content-centric network and content-aware network. So these are the latest technology that is coming in as part of the networking domain. So where they are capable of seeing the content and they take the decision. So it is like the network is becoming more intelligent than the traditional network. So here the main challenge is to take the dynamic decisions. So the expectation is to use some of the machine learning technique to take the decision dynamically and provide the quality at the given condition. So this is about the first part of the project, and second part of the project is next slide. So that is about augmented reality and virtual reality. So you know the virtual reality and augmented reality. So where the things are captured from the camera, multiple cameras, and then it is given a benefit to the viewer that they have the flexibility of seeing the content at their own position. So you can see that there is a camera array where multiple cameras are placed and they are capturing the same scene. So when we capture the scene, so the advantage is we can give the quality at a given place of the same scene. So some user may be interested in pointing to the last pan of the chessboard, and some may be interested in the beginning. So this I am talking with respect to the scene that is shown here. So that is why, so each and every user will be having their own requirement with respect to a scene. So now here in this particular project, the main application or main need of the application is to provide the novel view. So what is novel view? So we have set of device cameras that is capturing a scene, and then we want to reconstruct or we want to generate a new view from this available image data set. So there are lots of work going on in Google and Facebook, but they have very good devices in terms of processing capacity and capturing. So my aim is to develop the same thing in casual camera or casual devices. So where the main requirement is to use the mobile captured data, and then we will be processing the data and to give the same feel of the whatever the Facebook and Google is doing. So that is why there are lots of challenges with respect to developing this type of setup. So the main challenge is the pre-processing part and then the rendering part. So there are lots of advantages of doing this, because mainly the most of the customers or most of the users are having casual devices. So that is why we need to reach this set of customers or this set of users. So here to implement or to take up this, the prerequisites that are expected is the basic programming of C++ and Python, and some parts of the OpenCV, so which is basics of image processing, and these are the expectations for this particular project.